Business Research Methods, Observation Methods, Chapter 11. The Learning Outcomes. After we study this chapter, we'll be able to discuss the role of observation as a business research method, to describe the use of direct observation and contrived observation, identify ethical issues in observation studies, explain the observation of physical objects and message content, describe major types of mechanical observation, and summarize the techniques for measuring physiological reactions. Maybe you know and you've heard about mystery shoppers, mystery diners, or mystery employees that can help inspect and evaluate a variety of activities, including customer service, company's operation, employee integrity, store merchandising, and product quality. Mystery shopping originated as a technique used by private investigators to identify and prevent employee theft, primarily in banks and retail stores. They are posing as workers and then maybe became part of the organization in order to observe the operation and the employee behavior. This is what mystery shoppers is all about. Now, mystery shoppers are just one observational approach to collecting research data. While survey can provide some insights into future or past behavior, it's difficult to argue that the power of data is representing the actual behavior. So observation is a systematic process of recording behavioral patterns of people, objects, and occurrences as they happen. No questioning or communicating with people is needed. So researchers who use observation as a method of data collection, they either witness and record information while watching events that take place or take advantage of some tracking systems such as, checkout scanners or internet activity records. And these tracking systems can provide data such as whether or not, a consumer purchased more products on discount or at a regular price, or how long an employee takes to complete a specific task. So this is observation. Now, what can be observed? It's physical actions, physical actions such as some shopping pattern. In store or through a web interface or TV viewing. We can have verbal behavior such as sales conversation or the exchange between a worker and the supervisor. Expressive behavior, tone, the voice, the facial expression, or the coach stomping his foot. Spatial relation and location such as traffic pattern, temporal patterns, the amount of time shopping, driving, or making a business decision. Physical objects such as the amount of the newspaper that you can recycle. And verbal and pictorial records such as the content of an advertisement or the number of minorities pictures in, company brochure. So while this observation method may be used to describe a variety of behaviors, these cognitive phenomena like attitude, motivation, and preferences cannot be observed. So there are things are too costly or sometimes even impossible to observe some of them. So the nature of observation studies. Business researchers can observe people, objects, events, or other phenomena using either the human observers or machines designed for this specific task. And human observation best suits a situation or behavior that is not easily predictable in advance or for the research. And then mechanical one, on the other hand, can be performed in supermarket. Different scanners, traffic counters, they can accurately record the situation or different types of behavior that are routine, repetitive, and programmatic. And human and mechanical observation usually is unobtrusive, meaning that no communication with the respondent takes place. we can discuss about visible observation, a situation where a situation in which an observer present is known to the subject. Yeah, it's visible. A situation in which a subject is unaware of the observation, that the observation is taking place, is hidden observation. And hidden, unobserved observation minimize the respondent errors as well. And there are advantages and disadvantages in the major advantage of observation studies over surveys, which obtain self-reported data from the respondents, is that the data are free from distortion, inaccuracies, or other response biases due to the memory error or some other biases. So the data recorded when the actual behavior takes place. This is something that this company DDB, starting in its office in Copenhagen in Denmark, this giant ad agency DDB Worldwide has created a service called DDB Sign Bank, which invites all the staff throughout the world, plus other targeted groups such as members of youth organizations, to submit their observations to managers appointed. So they try to identify consumer behavior rather than comment gathered from other research methods. So it might be a new trend in the society or in the culture. This idea behind this sign-in bank is that the size of the database will allow different pattern to find a pattern to emerge in the different numbers of observation. What they claim, they observe a shift in the consumer from herds to swarms. Herds are a single body of people that share a common view and choose a joint direction led by an opinion leader. Swarms are a group of individuals with differing opinions that go in the diverse multitude of directions. And they claim that this information is available on the internet, but empower the consumers that they don't believe just anything anymore. You need results. You need to test these results. So observation in the human behavior, we can survey emphasize the verbal responses, and observation studies emphasize and allow for the systematic recording of nonverbal behavior. Behavioral scientists, they try to recognize nonverbal responses as well, in the communication process. How important different meanings that they exchange between individuals. And observation of the nonverbal communication may hold considerable promises for the business researchers. Facial expression, emotion, surprise, eye wide open and brow furrowed, and body language about the posture, the placement of the arms and of the legs, eye activity, eye contact, looking away, or personal space, physical distance between the individuals. Gestures, responses to certain events with specific body reactions or different gestures, and as well manners, accepted protocol for different or for given situations as well. So the complementary evidence is the result of the observation studies that may extend the results of other forms of research by providing complementary evidence concerning individuals' true feelings. Focus groups interview often are conducted behind two-way mirrors from which the executive can observe as well listen to what is occurring. Yes, this is with the complementary evidence. Now, the response latency, recording the decision time that necessary to make a choice between different alternatives, is relatively simple, unobtrusive task that can be accomplished through direct observation. And then observing the choice time as a measure of strength of the preference between different alternatives, this is called response latency. And this measure is based on the hypothesis that the longer a decision maker takes to choose between two alternatives, the closer the two alternatives are in terms of preferences. Yeah, this is response latency. Direct observation. Direct observation can produce a detailed record of what people actually do or during a specific event. The observer plays a passive role, making no attempt to control or to manipulate a situation, instead merely recording what's happening. And many types of data can be obtained more accurately through direct observation than by questioning something. So the observation method determines, yeah, without any issues, without difficulty, these things. This is direct observation. Now, the Contrived observation. Most observation takes place usually in a natural setting, but sometimes the investigator intervenes to create an artificial environment in order to test a hypothesis. So this approach is called Contrived observation. Contrived observation can increase the frequency of occurrence of a certain behavior pattern, such as employee responses to complaints. This is the contrived observations. Now, there are as well errors associated with direct observations. Although direct observation involves no interaction with the subject, the method obviously is not error-free, and the observer may record events subjectively. The same visual cues may influence maybe the interviewer and the respondent, and may come into play in some direct observation settings. So even if the observers try subjectively attributes a particular economic status or educational background or age, this distortion resulting from cognitive behavior or action is called observer bias. The observer bias, this distortion of measurement resulting from cognitive behavior or action of a witnessing observer. This is the bias. Ethical issues in observation of the humans. Observation methods introduce a number of ethical issues. Hidden observation raises sometimes the issue of the respondent's rights to privacy. Suppose a research company is approaching by another company interested in acquiring information about yourself, but then you can have different approach how you're gonna, I don't know, place cameras and observe different individuals, how they dress, or it's illegal and unethical approach. But what if you hire some individuals and then you're going to observe their and record their activity? So again, you can find different ways, and you can find the consent for the observation, and then to avoid this unethical observational approach and not to be unethical. But again, if the researchers feel comfortable in collecting the data. Observational and the physical objects. Physical phenomenon may be subject of observation study, and physical trace evidence is a visible mark of some past event or occurrences. A creative business researcher has many options how to find a solution to a specific problem, and you need to find this tracing to mark some past events or different occurrences in order to make sure that you achieve your goals. Content analysis. Besides observing people and physical objects, the researchers may use content analysis, which obtains data by observing and analyzing the contents or messages of advertisement, newspaper articles, TV programs, and other stuff, letters and the like. So this method involves a systematic analysis as well as observation to identify the information content and other characteristics of the message. The content analysis studies the message itself and involves the design of a systematic observation and recording procedures for quantitative description and the content of the communication. These techniques measure the extent of emphasis or omission of a given analytical category. Content analysis might be used to investigate questions, for examples. And study of content of the communication is very sophisticated. It's not just simply counting some items. It requires system of analysis to find out, to secure relevant data. This is content analysis. Now, mechanical observation. In many situations, the primary, or maybe sometimes the only, means of observation is mechanical rather than human. Video cameras, traffic counters, and other machines help observe and record behavior. Some unusual observation studies, they used motion picture cameras and time-lapse photography. It's again depends. The level of comfort, probably it's a problem if you want to observe it. I don't know, for some passengers in a train or in a subway, how they sit and how they move in there, you can use cameras. TV monitoring. The best known research project involving mechanical observation and computerized data collection is Nielsen TV monitoring, and it's a system for estimating the national TV audience. They use a consumer panel and monitoring devices. I think they are called people meters or something, if I remember properly, and they gather the data on what each television in a household is playing and who is watching it at what time. They attach your electronic boxes to your TV sets and the remote controls, and then they capture information on program choices. This is one. This is TV monitoring that can be used. So there are some other devices that can gather data about advertisement and either TiVo, digital, the recorders, they collect viewing data, commercials, if you skip commercials, and we can monitor the website traffic as well. Computer technology makes gathering detailed data about online behavior easy and inexpensive. The greater challenges are to identify which measures are meaningful and to interpret the data correctly. Most organizations record the number of hits at the website, how many mouse clicks on a single page of a website, for example. They can track the page views or they load individual pages of a specific website. So page views as well indicate how many users visit each individual page on a specific website. And click-through rate is the percentage of people who are exposed to an advertisement who actually click on the corresponding hyperlink, which takes them to the company's website. And then again, counting the hits or page views can suggest the amount of interest or attention a website is receiving. But again, click-through rates. Next one. ATTI, Advanced Tracking Technology Incorporated, developed a sophisticated monitoring and tracking devices for the fleets of vehicles that they are using, and they use GPS to pinpoint the exact location of their fleets, and easily they know exactly, and it's kind of having a manager riding with every driver. They know exactly where they are, so they can pinpoint them easily and know can guide them as well. Scanner-based research. Scanner-based research, laser performing optical character recognition and barcode technology, like the UPC, Universal Product Codes, that accelerated the use of mechanical observation in business research as well. Secondary data about the product category, about the movements that are generating from retail store using the scanner technology, and allows researchers to investigate these questions that are demographically or promotionally specific. So one of the primary means of implementing this type of research through these scanner-based consumer panels to replace consumer purchase diaries. It's the participants' purchasing habits are recorded, and with a laser scanner with a purchase diary like they've done it previously. And after you aggregate all this data from source sales and you measure them and are available to clients and to the industry groups, but you need to aggregate the data by different product categories that you are using. This is scanner-based eye tracking monitors. Yes, this is more into measuring physiological reactions, and researchers have used a number of mechanical devices to evaluate the physical and physiological reaction to advertising, copy to packaging, or to other stimuli. And researchers use such means when they believe consumers are unaware of their own reaction to stimuli such as advertising, or consumers will not provide honest responses. So eye tracking equipment as well, yeah. A magazine or a newspapers may wish to grab the reader's attention, or TV advertisers, they wish to identify which selling points to emphasize, and then eye tracking equipment records how the subject reads a print or views a TV commercial and how much time is spent looking at different parts of the stimulus. So in physiological terms, the gaze, the movement of a viewer's eye, is measured with these eye tracking monitors. They can measure unconscious eye movement. I think they were at the beginning developed for astronauts, but now you can use modern eye tracking systems. You can have a viewer's head in a stationary position, and then you can track the movements. Pupillometers record the changes in the diameter of the subject pupil. Yeah, so in your eye, the pupil in your eye. So a subject is instructed to look at the screen on which an advertisement or other stimulus is projected, and then the brightness and the distance of the stimulus from the subject are constant. Then these changes may be interpreted as changes in cognitive activity that may result from a specific stimulus. Another one is psychogalvanometers. Measure the galvanic responses, a measure of involuntary changes in an electrical resistance of the skin. And this device is based on the assumptions that psychological changes, such as increased perspiration, emotional reaction to advertisement, to packages, and to different slogans. Voice speech analysis is a relatively new physiological measurement technique that gauges the emotional reaction as reflected in psychological changes in a person's voice. And then abnormal frequency in the voice can cause changes in the nervous systems and are measured with sophisticated audio adapted computer equipment and computer analyzed the pitch and verbal responses to questions and then different stimulus. This is the voice speech analysis. So the last slide here, it's about Neuroco's approach with a technology called quantified electroencephalography, QEEG, and the subjects, they wear light and portable EEG equipment that record brain activity, and the software that presented the data computer maps the display activity levels in different areas of the brain. So this one relates with probably, if you're reading the news, Elon Musk. Yeah, Elon Musk with Neuralink. This is what he tried. Yeah, it's at the beginning. It was just obviously at the beginning, and he was saying that that implanted device that can actually solve different problems. Yeah, he's thinking a treatment. Yeah, of different disease, but who knows? Can be used as well in research later on. This is what Tesla, Elon Musk has done with Neuralink, yeah, so something similar. So this was chapter 11, observations method. Thank you.